What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, based on the thumbnail and title, we are looking at what has been a pain in my ass, but also this is basically my dream airsoft build. This thing is, I love it. We're gonna go over everything, but like I said, it's been a pain in my ass. I have wasted a lot of money building this thing. I'll put some pictures up, broken barrels, all different kinds of stuff, all from being impatient. Basically being impatient. That's the biggest thing. I had the right parts on order, didn't want to wait for them, tried to do it myself, and I broke a lot of stuff. So that's gonna be tip number one. Basically, right off in the video, we're getting off this with some tips. Tip number one is just being patient on your airsoft build. But speaking of airsoft build, let's get into this thing. Starting off with this, this is a Evite compensator. Everything will be linked in the description. This was like 20 bucks. It's super nice. I really like it. Obviously, for airsoft, you don't need a compensator, but it looks cool, and that is like the most important thing. Also, because it's airsoft, we're rocking the, I think it's the Baylor O-Light, Baylor Mini O-Light. It's got a white light, and then it's got a little laser light with a bolt mode. It's dead right now, but I will have some footage up of it. At the base, I will have to find the name for these. I'll put the name up. I forget the name of the magazine well end. These are aluminum, which is pretty nice. I know I said mag well, but these are the mag base plates. Here's a bunch of different ones. The other ones I've got are plastic, which does kind of suck. If you drop them, they tend to break. And then sitting up top, we've got the Trigicon little RMR. This is the older version. And then on sitting under that, we have the, it's an Amazon base plate adapter, basically. Totally a pain in the ass. Does not work very good. I actually took the slide off and I was going to mill it like you would do with a CNC and everything, or with our little mill. But you can't do that because these are aluminum. They're way too thin. So you still have to rock this adapter plate. And maybe I'll make a video on how to make these work a little bit better. I ended up using a bigger screw, lots of Loctite, and it is pretty tight now. You can actually kind of dial this thing in, and it works pretty good. But it's a total pain in the ass. It's a cheap part, but you're going to put a lot of hours into it if you want to make it work correctly. As far as the internal goes, I haven't done a ton of upgrades, but I have short stroked it, as well as swapping out the guide rod with a metal, I'm not sure if it's a guide rod, actually I'm not going to call it that, but the little metal rod in there, the recoil rod, with a steel one, and that is what houses the short stroke kit. I don't know a whole lot about the internals or names or anything like that, but I'm learning as I go. Now that I'm a mechanic, I'm starting to tear my airsoft guns apart and try to fix them a little bit more. Little upgrades like that here and there. So we're all going to learn together. But it does have the short stroke, so it does shoot a little bit faster because of putting the little RMR on there. It adds some extra slide weight. So the short stroke kind of helps with that, since it is the 18C, and it does have the fun switch, which I never really use. I always keep it in semi-automatic. But it does have the little fun switch if you want it. But like I was saying, the stroke on it is actually pretty nice, and it does lock back, which you do gotta like that. Obviously it's not loaded, or it's got gas, but no BBs, so don't worry about it. But it does have a nice little stroke on it. In order to get the RMR to sit super tight, you do have to tighten it down so much so that the full auto switch kind of becomes a little bit more of a pain, and that's really why I never use it. Okay, so I got it to go. Like I was saying, it does still have the full auto, and it is fairly fast for a pistol. It's not too bad. I mean, with an RMR, I think it's fine. With the short stroke, if you do too much of a short stroke, I've noticed it doesn't lock back, which I do like all my handguns to lock back because it does help you when you're out. Helps you know when you're out, as well as it's a little bit more realistic for training purposes, even though, you know, you go ahead and say it's not good for training. I think it is. Having that lock back is nice. With that being said, if you do too much of a short stroke, you're not gonna get that lockback feature. So there's just a little bit in there, but I do think the spring that I put on too is a progressively wound. So it's actually, the further it gets, the harder it gets. So it does kind of, it's got a solid kick. That's all I'm saying. It's got a solid kick. It still locks back, and it functions plenty fast enough for me with a heavy RMR. So right here, we've got the two different recoil rods, guide rods. This was the one that came in it. This is plastic. There's really no problem with it. You can put the short stroke kit on that one, I think, but I just went ahead and got a steel one with a different spring. Right there is the short stroke. Oh wow, this is actually, that might be why the gun is shooting weird. That was coming way loose. So that's cool, we found that. So you can see it screws off there. You can put your different spring on and everything. So that is how we're rocking that. And another thing I forgot to say is that I forget what it's called, but you basically poke it with something that's a little short and hot, and you do this gripping, so that way it's got a lot more grip. I've done it up here, down here, and then on this side, we've done it all up around here, all down around this. It takes a long time, but it does work super good. It feels like skateboard grip now. So that is pretty cool. Another thing that I did not add in is a threaded barrel, which I'll put a picture up right now so you can see it. But the original barrel was not threaded. That is why I broke it, because I was trying to thread it with, or put a insert in that was threaded. But I went ahead and got a threaded barrel for that compensator and locked it down right there with that little grub screw and some Loctite, and we're golden. And it looks super cool. It's definitely got a bigger port on the front, and it's got that port right there. Obviously, you don't need a compensator for airsoft. There's really no recoil, especially with these big base plates and everything like that. There's no recoil, but it still looks cool. Okay, so as far as tips go on your airsoft build, tip number one is obviously don't rush it, be patient, don't force anything. That's how you're gonna end up breaking stuff, and that's not fun. Then you're gonna be waiting, and it's just a long process when you could avoid it by just being patient. Tip number two is going to be, don't think that you immediately need to upgrade your stock pistol. There's nothing wrong with just using your gun or using your pistol the way it comes in, using your airsoft pistol. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't think that you need to upgrade it immediately. These things honestly shoot better out of the box than when you start taking stuff apart, because once you take stuff apart, it might not shoot as good. You might break something like I did, and then you're waiting. So I just got a brand new pistol, broke the barrel, and then I had to wait a little over a week before I got the parts that I actually needed to fix this thing. So that kind of goes with rule number one, but don't think you immediately need to upgrade your airsoft. Three is gonna be creative. Now, it's kind of hard to do when you really can only do the same thing that everybody else is doing, but you can do stuff to make it your own, rather be a slide color, do a little, whatever you call it on the grip to make it more grippy, a different type of RMR, different type of compensator. There is little things that you can do to make it your own without being too cheesy and looking like, you know, super little kid, basically, you know, just going crazy on it. But you can do it respectfully and make it your own and use other people as inspiration. You know, this kind of gives me like the ODST pistol vibes from Halo 3 or Halo ODST. That's kind of where this build is going, and I really like it. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, so that's gonna be tip number three, is just be creative. Definitely use other people as inspiration, kind of get an idea that you like, but you know, put your own little twist on it. So tip number four is gonna be just get outside and use it. Once you've gotten your build the way you want it, even if it's not even where you want it to be, but it's still in a functioning state, just go outside and use it. If an airsoft field is super far away, like it is for me, you really have to plan it out and make gameplay. It's gotta be a plan, you know, you can't just go every weekend or something. Just go outside. If you've got property, if you've got a room with a pillow, just shoot it. Just spend time reloading it, getting comfortable with the gun, practicing your trigger safety, you know, like, there's just so many different things that you can still do with airsoft guns by not going to the range. You don't have to go to the airsoft field and go play airsoft in order to use your airsoft pistols or use your airsoft guns in general and just have fun. Because really, that is all airsoft is about, is just getting outside, having fun, getting used to your weapons. My girlfriend has never really shot firearms before, and she really didn't like them until she started messing around with airsoft and got more comfortable with it. So it's a really cool intermediate in between. And then also, you've got so many different access to firearms and stuff that you'll never be able to touch in real life, more than likely never be able to touch. But a lot of these stuff, it's just good to play with. It's fun. They're all toys. Just go outside, touch grass, have some fun, make a little target out of cardboard, go outside, have a competition with your parents, your friends, your girlfriend. Just have little competitions. There's all different types of games you can do. If you guys want to see a video on different types of airsoft training games that you could do, that might be kind of fun with like friends or even by yourself with little shot timers. That might be kind of a cool video, just different types of little training stuff that's fun to do outside with airsoft. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see any more airsoft stuff, let me know. Definitely comment what your dream airsoft pistol build is. I really want to hear all about it, and I'll comment back, read them, because I'm interested to hear. This is mine. It's obviously, I didn't really say it in the beginning, but this is the Elite Force G18C off of ebike.com. It's a solid build. I really like it. If you guys have one, let me know how you guys like it. If you don't have one, let me know what you're rocking. Let me know what you want to rock. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.